supposed. Oh my God, Cam Newton wants to beat me up. Cam says he's gonna see me at the Super Bowl, and I need to keep the same energy. Oh my God.
What energy, man?
I better have security with me, and I better not go to the Super Bowl. Cam, that's not how this goes down. That's not how it is. And so you want to fight. I don't blame you. My fighting days are long past and in my rearview mirror. It's not what I do. It would be stupid for me to fight some 6'5", 260-pound, 37-year-old man who's still in tremendous shape.
Yeah.
You think I'm retarded?
Nah, Whitlock ain't going for that.
I'm not retarded.
I don't want that smoke either, Cam. Leave me alone, bro.
So
It's just
good luck
content.
with that, Cam. You know, keep that energy. There are ways to confront that energy that are legal.
I wonder what that means.
Just
Jason Whitlock responds to Cam Newton. I want you to hear exactly what he had to say, and then I'll come back with my comments.
Cam Newton.
Here we go.
Cam Newton has attacked not just me. I wasn't bothered by the attack on me. I'm used to it. It was the attack on Steve Kim that just really, really like, hey, what are we doing here? We're really attacking the Korean Cosell, the biggest star on this show? Are you kidding me? And so when Cam decided to go after Steve Kim, I had to put my cape on, and we had to prepare a different show because I have to defend Steve Kim the way that I guess Cam is caped up for Joy Taylor and Molly Karam. Anyway, let's start by playing you this clip. This is 2 minutes and 30 seconds of Cam Newton appearing to threaten me, but more importantly, I can handle myself. You think I'm scared of Cam Newton? You think I can't mix it up with Cam Newton? Just because I'm old and fat don't mean
old school strength.
I don't how to throw these hands.
Old man strength.
It's Steve Kim that I'm worried about. But anyway, let's play the clip. Thinks female broadcasters are the greatest thing since sliced bread, or is he just doing whatever is possible to survive and remain relevant now that he's never going to play football?
Here's my message to Cam. My guy. No. You're not my guy. Come on. The thing that is interesting about what he said about you, Cam really showed what a simpleton he is, Jason. You never really...
Pause right there. I'm going to tell you like this. Since y'all mentioned motherfuckers like Harvey Weinstein and the Me Too movement and Cam, Captain Save-A-Ho, I'm going to put both of y'all motherfuckers, Jason Whitlock and Steve Kim, in the U2 movement. I don't do none of these name calling and all that shit. I'll put it like this, bro. If I see you, all I ask is keep that same energy.
Was that a threat, Cam? You going overboard now. Don't lose that Disney bag. Got a lot of money on the line. Got to keep it cool, bro.
Mr. Kim, simp, cool. Keep that same energy when I see you. I think we have to normalize this in sports. Now the rabbit got the gun. Now the athletes got the opportunity to speak up for themselves. Now we really can go toe for toe if that's what y'all really want to do. So it was a lot of things that was spewed. And even then, like when you look at this, Peggy, it's like these motherfuckers are haters, bro. Like real shit. Like this motherfucker gives a backhand compliment to the whole Fox post-game show. Cool, bro. I think this is the first time in my life being a content creator, a YouTuber, former athlete, yes, bro, that I can really speak on like most athletes want to speak on.
If that's the case, Cam, if this is content, don't be sensitive. Be petty with Whitlock. You know, Whitlock is one of the most pettiest people in media, but it looked like you want to put hands on him. So again, you're going overboard with this.
Especially talking to y'all lame motherfuckers, bro. And I'm not the dude that's gonna send subliminal threats. You're not that guy. You're just not. You never have. So don't get sensitive. And what I did say about Joy, I stand on that. What I did say about Molly, I stand on that.
Simping.
They're not in your league, bro. That's what I mean by you're not that guy. You're not in your league, bro. You talking about that big rat? You got a big rat.
That was good.
Come on, like, so to keep it kosher, to keep it content, I will advise Jason Whitlock and Steve Kim to keep that same energy when I see you. I think it's going to be Super Bowl.
Sound like Cam trying to pick a fight. I don't know, man. Whitlock, he benched about 400 or 500 pounds, so I don't know if Cam Newton really want that smoke with Whitlock and Steve Kim too. Bro, putting in work in the gym, so be careful, Cam.
So I don't know how any other way to interpret that. Cam is telling me to keep that same energy when I see him at the Super Bowl. It's unlikely that I'll see Cam at the Super Bowl unless Cam is at my house at my Super Bowl party. But I'm not. So, Cam, I'm going to disappoint. Is the Super Bowl in New Orleans, I think, this year? And I've been to several Super Bowls in New Orleans. But right now at my age, my cholesterol can't handle it. So I will not be in the French Quarter, Bourbon Street. It's probably been 3, 4, 5 years since I've been to a Super Bowl. Cam, I don't make regular appearances at the Super Bowl like I used to. You know, I probably went to 20 Super Bowls in my career, but not as of late. So, Cam, I'm not going to see you at the Super Bowl. More than welcome to be a guest at my Super Bowl party here in Nashville if you would like to join us. But
And Cam don't know that Whitlock, he's independent now, so he's not pulling up to all these events, the Super Bowl things. So he had his moment where he was at all those Super Bowls, but Cam, I don't think you're going to run into Whitlock. I don't think that's going to happen.
Cam, I'm just kind of flummoxed, baffled. Like, I am trying to retrace how we got here to where Cam Newton is, what is he, 35, 36, 37 years old, somewhere in that range. I am 57 years old. How did we get here to where a former professional athlete in his mid to late 30s is making veiled threats at a 57-year-old fat sports writer? How did we get here? And what history of mine is Cam ignorant of that he somehow thinks he's doing something brand new? He's the rabbit with the gun.
Well, he's working for ESPN now, so this is the position he has to take. And when you have people like Whitlock that's been beefing with the media, mainstream media, Stephen A. Smith, a lot of people at ESPN, he's in line now. This is a part of the initiation process. Let me earn my stripes and let me go after Whitlock.
No, Cam, you're actually a silly rabbit.
Tricks up the kids.
Rabbits have been pointing guns at me my entire career. You're late. Athletes have threatened me, jumped on me, made veiled threats, tried to be menacing, tried to get me fired, confronted me at nightclubs for decades. You're late.
Late to the party,
Many
bro.
of these athletes have already jumped on me or made threats when I was actually somewhat in my prime and could defend myself physically. Can't you? This is not new. You're not doing anything new. You actually, in my view, look kind of silly.
Yeah.
You looked intellectually overmatched.
Yeah, at this point, Cam don't know what to say. I think he had his response, and now all he can do is let's fight. That's where he's at with it now, so he's not going to go back and forth. I don't think he want those issues. So now it's like, when I see you, keep that same energy and let's fight. That's what he had to resort to.
And so it's like, hey, I'll beat you up.
Bad look.
Okay. What am I supposed? Oh my God, Cam Newton wants to beat me up. Cam says he's going to see me at the Super Bowl and I need to keep the same energy. Oh my God.
What energy, man?
I better have security with me and I better not go to the Super Bowl. Cam, that's not how this goes down. That's not how it is. And you're right. I'm not that guy, Cam. I'm not a tough guy. I'm not a fighter. I'm just a big old teddy bear who likes to talk about sports and uses my platform as a way to point out to other athletes, sports fans, hey, here's a biblical worldview. Here are some athletes who are violating or acting in a way that violates a biblical principle. and this is why they should stop. That's the guy that I am.
And that's the angle Whitlock's been taking. Of course, he may go overboard at times with some of the stuff that he says, but it's all coming from that biblical standpoint. So again, Cam, you overreacted. Now you want to fight the man and you don't want to keep it content anymore.
And so I was having a conversation about the Joy Taylor, Fox Sports, Nushin Faraji, Skip Bayless, Charlie Dixon lawsuit. You were nowhere mentioned in the lawsuit. You were nowhere mentioned in my discussion. You had nothing to do with it. You decided to inject yourself into that conversation. And now you're acting like I was the aggressor and I did something to disrespect you and I did something to draw you into this. You injected yourself into it. I want to play the clip. Let's see. I want to make sure we do this in order so everybody has context.
Full breakdown
Let's
coming.
start with shot number 2. This is what I said that had nothing to do with Cam Newton. Cam Newton wasn't even mentioned, wasn't even thought about. I said, hey, I kept my distance from Joy Taylor, and here's why. Play shot number 2. And I don't say this to be hypercritical of Joy Taylor. I don't have harsh opinions of Joy Taylor. She's not someone that I didn't get along with. I basically, for the most part, just kept my distance from Joy Taylor. And I kept my distance, not because I didn't like her, it's just because I knew myself. I know myself.
Real talk.
I know what I'm capable of. And that big rack of hers that she showed off constantly, it's just, and that peanut butter skin with
Classic.
that big rack. Like, Jay, keep your distance. That's going to get you into trouble. And so that's what I did. I kept my distance.
And that's what Cam has a problem with, just because he took that angle with the Joy Taylor situation. He knows himself. She got the big cans and peanut butter skin. But I guess that was a smoke signal for Cam Newton to go off on Whitlock.
Someone walk me through that in terms of how is this offensive to Cam Newton? That Jason Whitlock comes on his show and says, look, I'm so weak and degenerate and stupid that if a big pair of cans and peanut butter skin gets in my face, I'm capable of saying something stupid, doing something stupid, being inappropriate. And so I'm self-aware enough to say, stay away from that. That's a problem.
Keep my distance.
She accuses you of anything. You may not have done it, but you'll be like, man, I'm capable. I could have done it. Maybe I did it in my sleep. Maybe I did it and didn't know it. It was just like a Tourette reaction.
Big cans do that
So
to
I was
you.
just like, just stay away. If I'm gonna give you this is how paranoid. I wish Uncle Jimmy were here. He could vouch for me on this. But I had, and this, I'm just telling you how paranoid my mind is, and how I operate in a work environment and setting, just knowing that I'm a degenerate man filled with lustful thoughts. And so I take all these steps to protect myself. And so I used to have this saying with Uncle Jimmy, because, Uncle Jimmy struggled with his discipline. Dude got 4 baby mamas. I'm not saying that to belittle him. I'm just keeping it real. Let's keep it
Running
real.
it up.
When I met Uncle Jimmy, his nickname was Jimmy the Freak. He used to
Well,
call
freaky
into my
out there,
radio
man.
show under Jimmy the Freak, and he'd be bragging about all he could do with women and blah, blah, blah. And so Uncle Jimmy ran into problems on one of his jobs once. He got in a dispute with a white woman on his job. And I told him then, and I've said it for years. I was like, hey, Jim, when it comes to women at work, particularly white women at work, in the history of America, there's never been a black man fired from a job or gotten in trouble on a job for not speaking to a white woman.
Interesting.
You get what I'm saying? So if you don't speak to them, there's no way you can get in trouble.
And bringing it back to Joy Taylor, that's why he wanted to keep his distance. When you know who you are and you know that, this may set you off in an inappropriate way, for him to fall back and say what he said about Joy, and then Cam Newton he put his Superman cape on and trying to protect her. Now you got yourself into some BS and some content. And again, Cam, he's running out of ideas, and now you want to fight.
If you do, you're running the risk of getting into a he said, she said. So don't come whining and crying to me about, well, she said this and I didn't do that and blah, blah, blah. I was like, don't talk to her.
Keep your distance.
That's my mentality. That's how you avoid trouble.
White, black, whatever. Keep your distance.
You keep them in a safe space. And so that's all I was saying about Joy Taylor, removing the racial elements out of it and just saying like, hey, man, I just kept my distance from Joy, kept her at a safe distance, because if she were to say, Whitlock reached across the table and tried to grab my big can, I would have to go, did I do that?
He did the right thing ultimately when naming that lawsuit. Looks like he knows how to conduct himself on the 9 to 5. And again, solid move by Whitlock. Not saying that she would have or could have done something or would have alleged something. But if you have like a eerie feeling, fall back and keep your distance.
But when I can say, no, I kept my distance from Joy Taylor. I was never in a position where I could reach across the table and grab her big cans.
And that peanut butter skin.
Now I'm in safe territory. And everybody's, yep, Jason kept his distance from. And when Jason went into the makeup room, he didn't talk to anybody because I didn't want anybody to be able to accuse me of anything. It was, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am.
Solid move, bro.
Very platonic. That's me. I'm not that guy. You know, I'm the paranoid guy, Cam.
Same here.
That likes to stay in the safe space.
Stay on defense.
So I can't be accused because, again, I'm not going to go any further into that, but
yeah.
That's what I said about Joy Taylor. Had nothing to do with Cam Newton. And the next thing I know, here's Cam Newton going on a 90-second rant about me and Joy Taylor. He just injected himself into this whole thing. Play shot number 3.
Hey, pal.
Hey, Jason Whitlock. Hey, my guy. No, you're not my guy. Guy, come here. You're not that guy, pal. You're not. That big rack of hers, that's inappropriate. That butter skin, that's inappropriate. Like, bro, you're not that guy. So to comment on something like this, bro, stay in your lane. Whether Joy did what she did, the accusations are true or not, stay in your lane, Jason.
Pal.
All right? Because, bro, like,
Bella.
You're having an outer body experience, and it's time for me to put you back in your body to let you know, bro, you're not that guy, pal. Yeah. So whether you want to speak on your 2 cents or not, keep it. Please do. Because, no, it ain't that. But Joy, is she a very attractive woman? Absolutely.
Of course.
And it's not for me to make inappropriate statements, Jason, by saying that rack. Like, bro, come on, bro. Like, all right, let's put it like this, since we want to get personal. Like, yo, who you
Shots fired.
Who you sleeping with?
What she look like?
Like, bring her to the forefront, him to the forefront, because now you got to be open in these.
Overboard, you know what
I'm saying? And it ain't no shade, but I'm just keeping it a bug. Yeah. This is a person who's, bro, like been a villain in the industry for years. So I'm like, bro, we want to see her, him, whoever. I'm not judging you, bro. I'm just saying, don't say no inappropriate things like that and not be questioned about that.
So, Cam, you injected yourself in the conversation. This was an A and B conversation, bro. You should have just saw your way out of it. You throwing shots saying that, show him or her who Whitlock's dealing with, and now the content's being thrown back at you, and now you want to pick a fight. So, Cam, you went overboard. Don't lose that ESPN Disney bag over content.
So, Cam, let's be transparent here. If you're going to be policing my thoughts, and now you're the authority on what I should do. I've said, to this point, I had said nothing about Cam as it relates to this Joy Taylor situation.
Not at
Fox
all.
Sports. And, hey, stay in your lane. What do you mean? I work with Joy. I worked at Fox Sports. I knew Nusheen. I knew Skip Bayless. I knew Charlie Dixon. What lane?
Whitlock is in his lane. He worked at Fox. He knows or known of all the parties involved. So I want to hear what Whitlock has to say. We can hear all these other content creators give their opinions, but his opinion holds more weight than a lot of people's just because he's speaking from working at Fox. So Cam, you're losing it, bro.
I'm in my lane. You're out of your lane. You hopped into my lane and told me, hey, shut up and dribble.
He just
Okay,
simping.
I guess. But be transparent here, Cam. The only honest thing you said and legitimate thing you said Whitlock's been the villain for years.
Key point.
Well, go all the way there and explain what you mean by I've been the villain for years. Let's get to what this is really about. Years ago, at the height of Cam's career, I was constantly on television saying, hey, Cam, you're destroying your brand with this whole fashionista gimmick you're doing pre and post game. Showing up to post game interviews with Mary Poppins bonnets on your head and a scarf wrapped around your head and these big hats that you're wearing and this hairstyle. You're killing your brand. You're not going to lead a group of 53 men in a football locker room while appearing at press conferences dressed like Mary Poppins.
Oh, okay, so I get it now. Looks like Jason Whitlock may have threw shots at Cam Newton back in his playing days. Cam ain't forget that. Now he's going to lump everything up with Whitlock as far as what he said in the past, and now he's trying to bring it to the forefront. So that's why he probably tried to inject himself in this Joy Taylor situation. It's all making sense.
That's what I said. That irritated you clearly, in my opinion.
Oh, it did.
Say it with your chest out. Jason, I've never liked you because you were critical of me and my style of dress, and you kept complaining that I was undermining my career with my over-the-top, fashionista, feminized dress style. That's what I was saying. I was saying it, Cam, out of sincere concern for you, wanting to give you good advice that others perhaps are reluctant to give you, that you could just show up and do whatever you want to do. And again, let's go back to what I said yesterday about Michelle Obama and just how feminized black culture is. And how they wrote in People magazine, the source close to her said, Michelle Obama is unconcerned with what? Expectations, protocols, and tradition. And I argued yesterday that mentality promoted by black women is pervasive throughout black culture because we have a very matriarchal culture among black Americans. And so Cam Newton comes into the NFL with a ton of talent.
A lot of talent.
And he's convinced I don't have to be concerned with expectations, protocols, and traditions. I'm going to be a complete disruptor and change the way everything's done. And if I want to show up and lead this team while dressed like Mary Poppins, everybody's going to get on board with it. And I was saying, no, Cam, don't do that.
You got to understand with Whitlock, he's old school, so he's not used to seeing people looking like Mary Poppins, all the hats and the tight clothes and the weird hairdos. So even though Whitlock's delivery probably was off when he was talking about Cam at the time, Cam, he's still taking that to heart and he wants to keep that same energy. Be careful, Whitlock and Steve Kim.
You have a tremendous amount of talent. Respect some of the traditions and protocols. Play within the rules of the game. Now, everybody on social media, everybody allegedly trying to be black, is going to, oh, Whitlock's telling you to sell out. He's telling you to respect traditions, protocols, and expectations. Don't you know that as black people, we're paid to disrupt protocols, traditions, and expectations? That's our role in this society. Hollywood pays us to normalize things that used to be not normal. That's it. And I get it. Bob Iger, ESPN, Disney, they want protocols, traditions, expectations disrupted. They want as much degeneracy normalized as possible.
I wonder if Disney, ESPN, they knew of what Cam was going to do as far as the back and forth with Whitlock, especially the way that he was coming at him, keeping that same energy, wanting to fight. Don't tell me that Disney and ESPN got Cam out here like a crash out dummy to attack Whitlock and people of Whitlock and what they represent.
And that's why they've partnered you with Stephen A. Smith on Fridays on First Take.
Interesting, ain't
It's your job as black men to disrupt protocols, traditions, and expectations. This is all progress. The more buffoonery, the more profanity, the more sexual debauchery that you promote and normalize, the more butter they put on your biscuit.
Getting paid, money. Money talks. BS walks.
Cam, this sounds like a vicious attack on you. It's not an attack on you. I promise you. Ask your father. It's me calling you into repentance. Don't be a useful idiot. Trust me, they're going to give Stephen A. Smith $20 million worth of butter biscuits every year to disrupt protocols, traditions, and expectations, and to normalize profanity, immorality.
Yeah, when you work for these major corporations, there's a certain line that you can't cross, and that's what we're seeing now. So Cam Newton looks like he took a few steps back not to cross that line. So he's starting to switch things up. Don't really know what Cam represents, but based off what I've been seeing, you know, he has to simp. He has to stand up and just represent what Disney wants all their employees to represent. That's what you're seeing right now. Cam trying to get that corporate bag. Things ain't been too easy for him ever since retiring or leaving the NFL. Those checks start to slow down. This is the direction you have to take if you're Cam Newton.
But you brought the conversation to me. And now I'm bringing the conversation back to you. And I get it. You're out over your skis, so you want to fight. I don't blame you. My fighting days are long past and in my rearview mirror. It's not what I do. It would be stupid for me to fight some 6'5", 260-pound, 37-year-old man who's still in tremendous shape.
Yeah.
You think I'm retarded?
Nah, Whitlock ain't going for that.
I'm not retarded.
I don't want that smoke either, Cam. Leave me alone, bro.
So
It's just
good
content.
luck with that, Cam. You know, keep that energy. There are ways to confront that energy that are legal.
I wonder what that means.
I want to hammer this point that I'm making about Cam Newton, because there was the other thing that I did that seriously offended Cam and he can't address, is I pointed out the hypocrisy of his position. If he's running to defend Joy Taylor and he's calling Molly Karam a beast, and these women, they're the best thing going in sports media, and they're beasts. And you know how hard it is to tee up Ryan Clark and Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp.
It's not that hard, bro.
And I was like, whoo, Cam, you singing a different tune. Bob Iger and Disney, boy, they put you through a re-education program with a quickness.
That's what it sounds like, man. Again, Cam trying to get those corporate checks. So go after Whitlock. Go get him, Cam. That's what you got to do.
Very effective. Because the last time I heard Cam talking about female sports writers and sports broadcasters, he sounded completely different. He wasn't calling them beast. He wasn't talking about how great they were.
Routes and all.
He was singing a completely different tune. I want to walk you back. Here's an NBC News story that kind of summarized Cam's philosophy on female sports broadcasters.
Yeah, look like Cam had a change of tune. You throw that corporate money at him, things are going to switch up. So Molly's a beast and Joy Taylor's a beast. But many years ago, you weren't speaking like that, bro.
You see that whole NBC story? All these dishonest people, from Cam Newton to Jordan Rodriguez. She's all offended because Cam said he found it funny that a woman's asking about past roots. Like, she's shocked that a football player thinks it's a little bit humorous that some girl is trying to talk football to a professional football player. And then we come to find out, oh, what's up under your skirt, Jordan Rodriguez? You got some racial issues, baby girl? This is all a group of phony people lying to each other.
That's what it's looking like.
They all just lying to kick it. Cam, this isn't directed at Cam. This is more directed at the audience to try to get you to understand what's going on. Here's Cam Newton. He just, in the past 3 months, whatever, signed a deal with ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
Major deal. Simping deal.
Here on First Take with Stephen A. Smith. There used to be a tradition, protocol, expectations that people at the top of the sports media pyramid would present themselves in such a professional way that they would never be caught on tape just randomly dropping MFs, threatening people, cursing, carrying themselves like a gangster rapper. There used to be expectations, protocols, and traditions where it's like, oh, you're on ESPN. You can't act like a thug and a clown anywhere and diminish our brand.
Couldn't do it.
You can't do that. And so there was a time before the complete Disney takeover and Bob Iger takeover and the push for a more profane, a more raunchy, a more unprofessional, a more immoral brand of sports talk, that kind of behavior would get you fired.
Back in the day,
But ESPN's gone all in on Stephen A. Smith. He's there to lower the standards. He's there to disrupt the protocols, traditions, expectations. He's there to normalize the behavior we just saw from Cam Newton.
Yep. Go after Whitlock.
Let me give you and their excuse is, and they always have an excuse, but the goal is always the same. How can Bob Iger and Disney lower the morality of television and common conversation? How can they normalize a degenerate, immoral style of conversation? Well, you got to give them an excuse. Jason Whitlock, he's the bad guy. So the rules are out the window. And Stephen A. Smith, you go on your podcast and throw a profanity-laced tirade at Jason Whitlock. That'll let everybody know our standards are lower. We're now normalizing. We don't care about traditions, protocols, and expectations. Let's play the clip. Let's remind you of Stephen A. Smith talking about.
Yeah, so that was Whitlock responding to Cam Newton. Looks like this going to be a back and forth in 2025. Again, with Cam, he's just simping for corporate media. This is what he has to do to collect those major checks, those mainstream media checks. And we're going to see what happens moving forward with Whitlock versus Cam Newton.